Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're going to be looking at spellcasting, and specifically, we're going to be looking at wizard spellcasting. The wizard is the classic master of magic, dating all the way back to the ancient days of old D&D and fantasy before that. Wizards have always been a thing. Hell, the name Wizards of the Coast. That's how we got D&D in the modern age in the first place. And the wizard is possibly the most powerful spellcaster in the game. There's debates that go on about this, but one of the reasons wizards are so good is because they have so many spells. They get a bunch of spells right away at level 1, and they get to add to their spells by either finding them in the wild using spell books and scrolls, or by learning more as they level up. By the end of a wizard's career, they can be rocking 50 plus spells in their spell book. But that doesn't mean that you should just grab every spell that you see, because their spell list is huge. They have so many to choose from, and it can be a little daunting playing a wizard for the first time. But right away at level 1, you get first level spells, and I've made a list of the 5 best picks from the wizard list. Starting off at number 5, you've got Disguise Self. This spell makes you illusion look like someone else. It isn't a real effect, it doesn't change your body, but it does make you convincingly appear to be someone else. You can be a different creature of your own race, you can change your race, you can even change your size. Although that's a little risky because if someone tries to touch the illusion where there isn't anything, then they won't touch, they'll just pass right through you and then they'll know it's an illusion. But the simple fact that you can create any sort of disguise you want as an action with this spell is a great use of a first level spell, especially when you're trying to infiltrate or escape a bad situation. Disguise Self is just good. Wizards aren't the most charismatic individuals by nature, and Disguise Self really helps them get around that. Then at number 4, we have the only attack spell that I've put here, Magic Missile. The classic attack spell for magic users. You create 3 darts of force energy, and they automatically hit targets that you designate. You can designate a different target for each dart, or focus them all on one, it's up to you. But there's no attack roll involved. You just cast the spell, and these darts hit. They do 1d4 plus 1 damage, so an average of 3 or 4 damage per dart. But for a first level spell, that's not terrible, and the fact you don't have to hit anybody with an attack, they just do it, that's what makes them really nice. Plus they're force damage, which is very hard to resist. Then at number 3, you have a spell that's very unique to wizards. Only wizards can use this spell normally, and that is Find Familiar. This spell actually costs quite a bit. You have to cast it over a minute, and you have to use 10 gold pieces worth of stuff. It is actually a complex spell, but once it's cast, it lasts indefinitely. You create an animal companion. There's a list in the book, your classic stuff: bats, rats, frogs, toads, owls, falcons, hawks, lots of different abilities within the familiars. You can even create waterborne creatures like octopuses. But the reason it's so cool is because you keep this pet, and the pet stays with you indefinitely until it dies, I guess, or you cast the spell again to change the familiar. But doing this means that you can now command this thing as a bonus action forever. You can see through its eyes if you close your own, and as an action, look through it, up to 100 feet away. So this is great for scouting purposes. And the creature can do stuff. Like, they can't attack. That's specific in the spell. A familiar cannot attack, but they can take the help action to give people advantage. They can, at your DM's discretion, carry things around for you, such as healing potions or material items that someone might need. Familiars are just a one-stop shop for the ultimate utility tool. And they're also great for roleplay. Who doesn't want to have a pet? Plus, the pet can't die exactly. When they are killed, like, they can be attacked, and if their hit points drop to 0, they just poof away. Meaning, in my headcanon, they go to a pocket dimension, and that means that you have to re-summon them. But That's nice to have a pet that just can't really go away unless you die. Then, at number 2, we have Silvery Barbs, a very, very new and powerful spell. As a reaction, you cast this when a creature within 60 feet of you succeeds on a d20 roll, and you make them re-roll it with disadvantage. So they have to roll second die, take the lower one. This is a very powerful ability. Not to mention that when you do this, you also designate a creature, which can be yourself, that gets advantage on their next d20 roll. So it's just a really strong ability. Disadvantage and advantage as a reaction first level spell. Powerful as heck for a wizard. And the only reason I didn't put it at number 1 is because wizards have a bad habit of getting mixed up in combat. They are squishies, and squishies tend to get attacked because they're really powerful and they're glass cannons. In order to buff up a wizard, they need something special. They need the number 1 spell, Shield. No wizard should leave home without Shield. Like Silvery Barbs, you cast it as a reaction, but it's a reaction to getting hit with an attack. You do this, and your AC goes up by 5. That's really good. And one of the reasons I put this at the top above Silvery Barbs is because wizards actually have builds where they are in melee combat. The Blade Singers, what I'm thinking of specifically. Blade Singers need to have high AC. They get to add their intelligence modifier to their AC when they're in Blade Song, but Shield is even more than that. And doing so makes them incredibly hard to hit. This spell alone makes Blade Singers one of the greatest fighters in the game. And for all other wizards, it's just nice to have an emergency, I'm about to die and I need to block this attack ability in their back pocket. Shield, no spellcaster should leave home without it, least of all the wizard. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below, and keep your eyes peeled for more spellcasting reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.